What's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I'm gonna talk about the reasons why I don't let people borrow money from me anymore, and the reasons why or the reasons why I don't respect most people, or I don't view most people at a good light. And I'm also gonna talk about how I view karma, and how I view life in general, and how I view like the human experience and what the average person has to go through from my observation, and how I view this life and shit like that. So let's get to it. So I will make a part two, well maybe, but let's get to it. So the reasons why I don't um let people borrow money from me anymore, or the reasons why I'm hesitant when people ask for money, and I'll give it to them when it comes to when it comes to family members, coworkers, friends, anyone like that, right? The reasons why is I don't do that. Well, first because me, I'm a very giving, loving, cool person. I'm a very understanding person. So like, if you're around my friend group, or even if I don't know you like that, like, even well, not even that, but like if like like I'm the type of person where like I'm very understanding, and I'm willing to help people, right? And because the reason why I do that is because how I view this world as extremely evil, and I view this world as extremely corrupt, right? So, and how I look at it is this: everyone's not happy in this world they're living in. They're forced to do things they don't want to do, right? So people are forced to do things in order for them to get by in life, and unfortunately, in this human experience, we lived in a very evil, corrupt world where like we're forced to be overworked and underpaid with these jobs, right? And in order for you to be free and to do the things you want, is you need to make paper. Paper has no real value, but people give it value, and that's the nature of this human experience. And this is where you get your illusions from. This is where you get your this is where you get your pretty much this is where you get your illusions from when people in the spiritual community talk about that, because paper is an illusion, but people give it meaning to it, right? Not just money, but everything in life, like these jobs and all the other shit, right? So unconsciously and subconsciously, that's how I know this, because I study a lot of spirituality and also from observation. Unconsciously, we're all aware that this world is fucking evil, right? So when people will ask for money, or especially like if I'm cool with someone, or if I'm friends with someone, or like family members, like they ask for money, yeah, I'll tend to help them out. And I also believe in the laws of karma. Now, I'm not saying karma is a real thing or not, but how I view is that like what you give out, it will be returned back to you. Or if you put out good energy, you get in return. Or if you do something bad, then you're gonna experience bad, just so you can learn lessons, right? So, and not only that, but like I believe in helping people, because that's a part of the human experience, right? So, but unfortunately, I've experienced where like, and there's a saying too: you can't be too nice, or people are gonna take advantage of you. And and people view it as a weakness. I don't view being nice or being given as a weakness. I'm more so, it's just the people, because we have a lot of I don't want to get too disrespectful, but let's be real. We have a lot of people who are mentally retarded, right? A lot of people who aren't emotionally stable, and a lot of people are like this. And I blame this world. I blame this society, right? And I blame the nature of this human experience, because this human experience allows evil and corruption to happen, and that tells you how evil this realm is, right? So, and so since we live in a corrupt world where evil is allowed in this world, um, if you live in a corrupt world, it's gonna produce traumatized people, right? So this is why people don't seem to act right, or like people seem to take advantage and do some horrible shit just to harm another human being because they're traumatized, right? It's mental retardation. But so when I borrow money for, like, when I have people, I've experienced family members where like there are times where like they ask me for money, and I give them money. No, not just family members, just just siblings, right? No, it's siblings. Well, just one particular sibling, right? I don't want to get too personal. I don't want to mention any personal information, but just one sibling, right? Like there are times where I'll give him. He'll always ask me for money, even though we both work at the same career field and we both get paid the same amounts of money. For some reason, he's struggling financially, right? So I'm like, whatever. So I will tend to lend him money, and I'll tend to help him out. But the thing is, the same guy, like he would never. pay me back, and like he always be on some bullshit. So um one day, fast forward, we got into a fight, a huge argument, and I just told him just to pay me back all my money. He refused. He's refusing to pay me back. He's making excuses. He's throwing shots and jabs at me for no reason. That's how he is. And like I said, I came from a dysfunctional family. So like, when you're fighting with like toxic family members, when you're arguing with them, they're gonna throw some jabs and personal shots for no reason, because they're projecting their insecurities and trauma onto you. This is where you get your generational curses from. So if you're being attacked by a lot of family members, it's because they're projecting their negativity and trauma and hurts and pain and insecurities towards you. I made a video about why people project, and there's a lot of information out there on why people project. A lot of people who experience being in dysfunctional families experience this a lot. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I do my best to be the best I can be. But unfortunately, in this lifetime, I'm around a lot of like people who aren't at my level emotionally. Unfortunately, right? So yeah, so we were arguing, we were fighting, right? So, and I was telling him to pay me back, and he was making excuses not to pay me back, even though he had all the money. And then he was throwing some jabs and personal shots at me, right? So, fast forward, I was yelling at him, I was cussing him out through the phone, because it's just a long story. It's spiritual warfare. People who are heavily traumatized, people who are mentally ill, it's easy for them to get like manipulated by like a negative spirit or entity. I personally believe it's negative spirits, forcing people to act stupid, or because have you ever dealt with someone, or have you heard stories of people where like, especially in dysfunctional families, right? Or if you're dealing with narcissistic people, it's a long video because I gotta like break down every single thing, right? Without throwing personal information out there, because I don't get too personal when I make videos like that. I just don't. Even though I really want to, but I don't, because you just never know who's watching. But when it comes to narcissism and in dysfunctional families, when you're dealing with someone and they seem very evil, but they seem to get away with a lot of shit, like they seem very manipulative and they're very skilled at it, and they're very good at influencing people to go against a victim, is because, this is my opinion and based on my research and studies, because they're possessed by a negative entity or a spirit or energy, right? That's causing them to act very tactful, like very like skillful at manipulating, right? And some people say they're just clever, or like some people say this is how they are, but I feel like it's a spiritual side, so they tend to be possessed by like a negative entity or a spirit, or like a Jezebel spirit, shit like that. You can look more into it. So anyways, while I was arguing with him, he's trying to dodge accountability. He's throwing a personal shots. It was a long story. He's refusing to pay me back, and then he forced me to get pissed. I had to yell, scream, and shout, and just cuss him out to pay me back, right? And he finally did, but then it was just a pain in the ass. Like me, I'm a very cool person. It takes a lot of energy to get angry at someone, and it's just a hassle, right? So I've learned not to lend that person money, because like, one, he won't pay me back, and in order for someone to pay you back, unfortunately you have to get angry and you have to fucking force him to pay you back. I feel like when someone asks you for money to borrow, you shouldn't have to force them to pay you back. They should automatically do it. There is a time that you should give these people to pay you back. I mean, how I look at it is this: it's disrespectful when you're trying to borrow money from a family member or a friend, and you don't keep them updated when you're gonna pay them back, or you're gonna lie to them, this and that. It's one thing where like you borrow money and life happens, which is understandable, because it's happened to me before, where like you really need the money because of life happens, and like and you keep that person updated on when you're gonna pay them back, but sometimes shit happens and you're not able to, so you gotta extend. That's normal. But it's another thing where like people want to borrow money and then they keep you updated, or they don't, but then they don't even bother to like notify you or to keep you updated, or just like, or like they don't fucking, like they don't put too much into thought into it. They're inconsiderate, right? They're just people like that. A lot of people are like this. A lot of people who tend to borrow money from other people, they don't, like, a lot of people in this world, or at least people in my life, they lack a lot of emotional intelligence because of the society, because everyone's working 24/7. Everyone's pretty much slaves, and since you have time speeding up, people have less time for themselves. So there's a lot of people seem to misjudge their calculations and shit. People are very like mentally ill because of the society and the energies we're going into, right? Such as time speeding up. So it's disrespectful in my opinion. We're like, you're trying to borrow money and like they're just these people, they're not considerate, or like they're not aware of like, oh shit, I need to pay this person back, or I need to keep this person notified, right? So it is what it is. So that's a minor example, but there are situations where I've experienced recently where like I've trusted this guy, right? Where like it's a long video, it's late at night, and time is speeding up. I got shit to do, but there's this one guy, right? We're like we were cool, like we and him had a close connection, but the thing is like he would tend to constantly ask me for money, right? Like for like out of nowhere, and I feel like he kind of pressured me, like he's put me in an uncomfortable situation. It was a work situation too, like he was like my, let's just say manager, right? Because I don't want to put too much personal information out there because I never know who's watching, but let's say he's my, in his job position was to watch over me, right? So as an authority figure from his job position that's working over me, he's supposed to watch out for someone like that. He's supposed to guide someone that's underneath your position. He's supposed to help guide them and set them up for success, right? So what he would do is that like he kind of, I feel like he would take advantage of me by trying to lie to me or try to trick me for some reason, saying that, hey, can I borrow $3,000, right? And for investing purposes, right? Which I should have known. The reason why I believe this because we were cool. We had a close connection. He seemed trustworthy, and I was like, all right, cool. But then this other time he asked me for another $3,000, and like for like he wanted me to pay for his loans, this and that, and I'm thinking like, so out of everyone, right? So you only pay $3,000 just for loans, right? So you have friends, you have family members, you have connections. You're a lot older than me. Why can't you ask these people? But instead, you want to ask me at your job, and you want to borrow money from me? Like, why me? Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And people are like this. I've dealt with a lot of people where like, and there's the thing, when people ask you for money, they want to borrow money for you. Tell them this. Ask them this. Have you asked your fans? Have you asked your friends? Have you asked your family members? Have you asked your other connections? Out of all these people, why would you ask me? And lately, I've been experiencing people who constantly ask me for money, right? I think it's because of my career. No, yeah, that too. But like, so people aren't dumb. People would do whatever it takes to get their way because people are naturally selfish. It's part of the, I want to say it's part of the human mind because like some people have common sense, but most people, they're selfish as fuck, right? And that's how people are. People are naturally shitty. So like, they think they get away with shit, right? So lately I try to think people who ask me for money for some reason, and I feel like it's disrespectful because it's like, and there are times where I've been talking to people for like months, even years, and out of the blue, they're asking me if they could borrow money. And I'm like, first off, you didn't even ask your family members, you didn't ask your friends. Why would you ask me? You know what I'm saying? Out of everyone. We don't even talk, but now you would hit me up just so you can ask me for money? Get the fuck out of here, you know what I'm saying? So when people like that, I tend to leave them on read, or I'll ignore them. If I keep attracting these people, yeah, I am going to cuss them out and go off at them, you know what I'm saying? Because this is stupid. You know what I'm saying? But there's also, this video's all over the place, but there's also instances where like someone wants to borrow like $25, right? So I'll give him that, and then like this person will never keep me updated on when he's gonna pay me back, and then I always gotta hit this person up, that same person I gave money to. I always gotta remind them, hey, when are you gonna pay me back? Hey, are you gonna keep me updated? And they'll make some bullshit excuses like I'm not getting paid yet or this and that, even though it's been months. And me and that person, we work at the same career field, we work at the same job, so we're both getting paid the same. And we've both been here for a certain amount of years, and it's like we both get paid the same. I know exactly how our paycheck is, and this person will not refuse to pay me back $25 fucking dollars. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, and that same person would ask, and then I forced that out. So like, I was blowing this person's phone up because he was like out of town. I was for like months, for like 5 months, and I'm waiting for like months for him to pay me back. He never kept me updated. So I had to get on his ass and tell him, hey, when are you pay me back? So I kept messaging him, I kept calling him. He would have fucking like, at times he would ignore me, but then I constantly had to blow up his phone, constantly had to remind him to pay me back, you know what I'm saying? And it was such a hassle, like it was pissing me off. I was getting angry and shit like that. I didn't want to escalate the situation because I'm very calculated, and me and that person were friends too. So like that's the thing too. Like the thing with money is that like we're like people are stupid. So like money is a serious thing. So when you give him money, and we don't keep that person notified, this and that, or you refuse to pay that person back, you could burn bridges like that. You could burn bridges like that. A lot of people will burn bridges like that because of money. But like I said, people, like, there's wars and battles, there's divorces, shit hits the fan because of finances. So people don't think that. So I'm not sure if other people experience this as well. It could be spiritual warfare, or maybe I'm just around like retarded people. It's what I mentioned on my YouTube videos. Like I'm always, it seems like I'm always around mentally like disabled people, in a way, and emotionally retarded people. So it's like, I know it's a harsh insult, but I do mean that shit because I'm just fed up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I had to like get on this person. I kept blowing this person's phone up. He finally paid me back, right? A couple weeks later, that same person asked me if he could borrow another $20 to $25, and you know what I did? I didn't even bother to read his message. I just deleted that message and I fucking ignored him because I let him figure that shit out. And he's that same person too, so that's what I'm talking about. Where like I'm not sure there's like a mental illness going on with people, the collective, or just people seem out of whack these days, or at least the people I'm around with. Like I've always been around people who are just very like inconsiderate with like family members to like people I'm with. This is why, like, me, I have a Scorpio moon, and usually, and I'm not saying just because you have a certain placement you're gonna attract these people, but what I'm saying is that like the Scorpio moons, they tend to have trust issues because they always experience a lot of betrayal. And in my life growing up, I've experienced a lot of trust issues with people and betrayal. So growing up, it's just harder for me to trust people like that because I've always been around just people who ain't shit pretty much, right? Very weird. I've experienced a lot of weird life situations, and I never never see people get their karma, and I'm gonna get to that in a later video. I mean, for this video, but yeah. So that's the reason why I refuse to. If someone asks for money, I'm not gonna give it to them. People may call me cheap, selfish. I don't give a fuck. Blame these other people for fucking shit up. It's hard to trust people. Like, and the other incident with the $3,000. So he told me it's for investment purposes. So months later, like a couple months later, I decided, you know what, I need the money because I want to buy a car, right? So I told him, hey, are you able to give me back that investment money, right? Then he told me he's not going to give it back to me until next year, and I told him why, and I forgot why, but he was flipping the subject. He was trying to change the subject, or like he told me, oh, because I can't do that because I forgot what he said, some bullshit excuse. He told me like, and I knew he was lying, so I kind of like add to the lie so he won't feel bad or guilty. So, and knowing that, but I was testing him to see if he was lying. So I told him, is it because my money's mixed up with your money? And he was like, yeah. Like, and so I'm like, really? So and then I told him, so since my money's mixed up with yours and you're not gonna be able to pay me back until next year, is the money gonna increase and add up as the year goes by, like each and every month? And he said, yeah. So 12 times 3,000, no, or I'm not good at math. So I think you got it multiplied, so 12 times 3,000. So 6, 9. That's like 39,000 pretty much, right? In a year. Or 36,000. So you know what I'm saying? So I told him that, and he's like, well, I didn't say that, but I told him, oh, so the money's gonna increase by like 1,000 every month, and he's like, yeah. So that's like 36,000, and I didn't even tell him which bank it was or like what's the thing called, and that's when I knew I caught him in a lie. So, and it's about the conversation. It's about me conversating with them. Like, you know how when you confront or like a narcissist or a narcissistic person, and a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people don't experience being around narcissistic people, only a select few. So like me, I've been around a lot of narcissistic people, and I've seen videos of people interacting or confronting narcissistic people. And it's how narcissistic people, how they always change the subject, how they always flip the script, or like how they always, they always dodge accountability, and they're always trying to flip and gaslight towards you, or they'll flip the switch towards you, and then they'll project towards you, or like they'll get angry or aggressive and violent. And me, like, I study a lot of spirituality, and I'm kind of sensitive to energy. So like I could pick up on a negative bad energy, and I could tell when someone's lying. And that's the thing. I need to trust my intuition more, and I'm more, and I'm learning more about intuition. But like, intuitively, I can feel when someone's not right for me, or like someone's lying. I tend to feel a lot of anxiety and shit like that. So like that's when I knew he was bullshitting pretty much. And like this conversating with him, it was just, I could tell he was lying. He was dodging accountability, and he's had a lot of toxic energy and shit like that. A lot of issues. And it was that same person where like he would give me a PS5, right, for I think $500 to $600, and it was used. And I mean the average PSP is like a new one's like $500, but he charged $650, so like extra $150. I'm like, whatever, just give me that PS5, right? That same person, right? and and it was my fault too. It was my fault for trusting them. But the problem with me is that like I tend to think that people have the same heart, or they have the same mindset as me, but a lot of people aren't. You have a lot of grown adults who like to take shit from people, right? For whatever reason. So he offered me a PS5 for $700, or like $650 or whatever, right? Like cool. So months later, he never gave me that PS5, and I reminded him multiple times, and he told me that if I still wanted the PS5, I'm like, yeah, no shit, I still want it. So, well, I didn't say that to him, but he asked me, hey, do you still want the PS5? I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, I just gave you money for that. No shit, I want that. In my mind, I was thinking that, right? And he's a lot older than me. He's my manager too. Like, you see what I'm saying? So, and months later, he still never gave me that PS5. So now I gotta remind him and tell him, hey, remember I gave you fucking $650 for a PS5? Give that shit to me. Give that fucking PS5 to me, man. You know what I'm saying? So is shit like this where like that's the reason why I don't trust people with money. And there's a lot more other stories as well that I might mention, but like I don't, when it comes to money like that, I don't trust people. I don't mind donating, or like, for example, if I have like, if every YouTuber I like to watch, yeah, I'll donate here and there, or like, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to people asking me for money, or borrowing for money, friends, family, a homeless person, fuck that, man. Well, not a homeless person, because obviously they're homeless, so they're in a vulnerable position. So I don't mind helping that person out. But when it comes to people who I know have money and shit like that, fuck that. I'm not. When people ask for money, I'm not doing that shit no more. Like I feel like I've been too nice. I've given people too much. What's the word? What's the word? There's the word I'm looking for. What's the fucking word? I lost the word. I gave people. There's the word I'm looking for. It's really bothering me. I don't want to waste this video. I forgot the word, but basically I have a lot of trust in people, right? Like, and I gave. Oh yeah, here we go. I gave people the benefit of the doubt, right? And they failed to do that. So, and whenever they do pay me back, or whenever they do borrow money, I always got to remind them to pay me back, or they'll take them like a year or a couple years just to pay me back, especially like thousands of dollars and shit. And I'm like, you know, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So use this use this video as a life lesson. Me, you can do what you want. I'm not saying you should do this and do that, especially people and subscribers who enjoy watching content from their creators. Like they tend to follow what they say, or take what they say seriously. I'm guilty of that too. So like, just be careful. Like, I gotta remind in this channel, I'm just speaking my mind. I'm not saying to do this and that, but from my own experience, my own opinion, like if you're making money, or if you're in a position where like you're making a lot of money, or if you're in a new career field where you're making money and people know that, when they ask for money, to borrow money, this is from my own experiences, and you don't have to do what you want, but from my own experiences and opinion, don't do it. Don't fucking let people borrow your money. Don't do it unless if you really trust. Nah, I want to say that because there are times where I'll trust people to the full extent, and like there are times where I'll build good connections and strong bonds with people. They'll ask me for money, they'll never pay me back, or like I can remind them. It's not worth it, because then there's gonna be a lot of tension and conflict, and it's gonna build up, and then you're gonna lose that trust for that person, and you see eventually you're burning bridges, or your relationships aren't going to be the same because money is a huge issue. And the same people who tend to borrow for money, for some reason, they have a tendency to not keep their word for some reason. So, at least for me, so it's like I don't trust people like that, and you can burn bridges easily. Even if you two have the goodest connections, the best relationship. When money is involved, and then the one person refuses to pay you back, then that could easily burn a bridge. I don't care what status. If you're like a family member, romantic relationship, friendship, whatever. When it involves money, it could burn relationships. You could burn bridges like that, or you could burn your trust, or the relationship's not going to be the same when finances are involved. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, look at the outer world. Wars and battles, deaths, divorces happens because of money. So it's a serious thing. It doesn't matter how much money. It's a serious fucking thing because people need that paper to survive. It's a very serious thing. So I learned a valuable lesson on not to trust people when it comes to money and finances. You know what I'm saying? So just don't do it. Don't do it. It's nothing wrong with like donating or giving out money. You just gotta be responsible and budget. But like more so when people ask for money, I recommend not fucking doing it. It's gonna burn bridges, and more likely these people ask for money, they're not gonna pay you back. And there are also times where like there's other people where I'll trust, where we had a good connection in the past, we were cool, and they want to borrow money from me, and I give them money, and then they'll tell me, oh, they'll pay me back the next day or at the same exact day, right? They're very convincing. He's blowing up my phone. Next you know, next couple hours or the next couple hours, that same fucking person will ask me, or the next day this person will ask me, hey, can I borrow more money? And then they'll come up with more excuses, this and that. So like, it's not a good idea to have people borrow money for you because they're gonna use you as an ATM machine, and they think that, oh, it's because you're nice, you're lending them out money. They think it's okay for them to ask you more and more to overstep your boundaries, or not even that. They'll just try to test you, or because they're so nice and giving, they assume that like, oh, okay, he gave me money, he's allowing me to borrow money, I should ask him for more. Even though you have friends, family members, and other people, but you still gonna ask that same fucking person. So it's disrespectful. Like it's insult to someone's intelligence, and and I remember I did that too. And then he promised to pay me back, or you should keep me updated the same day. A week has passed, multiple days have passed, and I'm still waiting on that person. So it's not, and me and that person, we have a good bond and relationship. I trust that person, but just shit like that, where like I'm starting out to trust him, and I never will trust him again. Even if he does pay me back, I don't fucking trust him. Just the fact that he didn't keep me updated, or like he lied to his word. So, and he pretty much burned a bridge like that. And so it's just shit like that where I'm talking about, where like it doesn't matter the connections. When it involves money, I really recommend not trusting someone like that. You can't trust people like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the valuable life lessons I'm learning as I'm getting older when it comes to finances, because I'm still new to finances. I'm still a young adult, so like I'm still trying to learn how to budget and improve my finances. And so when it comes to lending money to people and trying to be a good person helping out, you can't really trust people like that. You just can't, because people, you just can't, man, because you never know what could happen. People's lives are so chaotic, and usually people who are, and look at the red flags too. So like, especially for friends and family members, anyone in general, people have friends and family members. A lot of people have connections, especially we live in the internet. We're in a social media age. A lot of people, average people, know a lot of people through social media and through real life. And out of everyone, why would they ask you to borrow money? You got to think that, and that's a red flag. And my values are proven to be facts, because when these people, I let them borrow money, they always make excuses where like they can't pay me the next day, or like they want to borrow more, or they'll never pay me back. So it's bullshit like that. You just don't want to do that. It's gonna add a lot of stress and worry. It's not a good idea. So it is what it is. So yeah, just don't do it. Also, I'm gonna talk about karma and how I view karma. Right. So when it comes to karma, right, it's just annoying where like whenever someone would do you wrong, like if you get done wrong, or like if someone stole from you like money and finances and shit like that, like what I had to experience and what I just talked about, is like I never see these people get their karma. I've always been around family members and other people who always disrespect me growing up, and there are times where like I'll see them just flourish in life, like I'll see them just level up in life, and like they'll just do great things, right? Or they'll seem unbothered, you know. And I've experienced that shit like physically, you know what I'm saying, with family members. Like they've done me wrong, they've lied to other family members about me. They'll do me extremely wrong, and there are times where like I had sleepless nights or out of nights where like I was crying or I was in so much pain, right? And these same people, they seem unbothered, or like they'll post on social media how happy they are, or like they'll just try good things into their life for some reason, right? So I'm always thinking to myself like, man, is God seeing this, or is my ancestors watching this, or is anyone in the spiritual realm seeing this, or the laws of the universe, are they seeing this shit? You know what I'm saying? So like at times I'll question God, or life in general. I'll question every being out there. I'll pray. There are times where like, I'll pray to God, like, why am I not seeming to get their karma? Like, why is this happening to me? Am I being punished? Have I done something wrong? Am I experiencing karma? You know what I'm saying? So there are times I'll question life. I'm like, why am I keep? And this shit wouldn't happen like one every like rare. Like this shit's not rare. This shit would happen so many times where like family members will just do me extremely wrong. And not only that, but other situations with like other people where like I've been like stolen money from, I've been lied to, been done wrong. So I'm like, why is this happening to me? But more so like family members, right? So, and like I said in my videos, I came from a very abusive, dysfunctional family, right? And again, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've done some things I've regretted, but what I can say, and I've done things I'm not proud of, but what I can say like is that I do my best to be the best person I can be, and I do the best to be self-aware as much as possible, right? And I'm aware of the laws of karma. I study a lot of spirituality, so I kind of know better. But not only that, but like I'm very cautious when it comes to like doing people wrong or try to do some bullshit, because I don't want karma hitting me. You know what I'm saying? Because how I look at it is this: life is already hard, life is already stressful, right? So why would I do someone wrong for whatever reason, unless it's self-defense? Then in my opinion, you have the green light to fuck some shit up for someone. But what I'm saying is just like just unprovoked, you just mind your own business. Why would you do something wrong? You know what I'm saying? Or do something that's out of line or out of character. It's not worth it, because you just mind your own business. Life is hard. Why would you create that extra negative energy thrown back to you? What you put out, you're gonna get back. So why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. So this is why I'm very cautious when I'm doing something wrong, or I'm very mindful on how I speak to people. Cause I'm not paranoid or anything like that, but I try to be more self-aware when it comes to like hurting people or hurting things and shit like that. This is how I am. But and I'm not saying I'm perfect. There are times where I'll still mess up. There are times where like I'll let my emotions get the best out of me. But we're all human. We're all trying to learn and evolve. So as long as you're trying to learn, that's all that matters. This shit happens. This is why you gotta learn how to do the shadow work and how to forgive yourself. But anyways, there are times where I've been done so wrong, right? And I'm like, damn, like how come I'm not like seeing people get their karma? Like, am I being punished for it? Is like, did I deserve this? Have I done bad things in a past life, or that I'm experiencing this shit now that I got to pay for? So I don't know what's going on, you know what I'm saying? So this shit happened so many times where like it really bothered me too. Like I have like sleepless nights, like I'll cry a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll be so angry, you know, and it'll be so bad where like I'll be so pissed, and that like I'll take it out on the wrong types of people. It was that bad, you know what I'm saying? Like in public and shit like that. And like it'll force me to not focus on my studies, on my goals and stuff. It was that bad, you know what I'm saying? But and the only times I'll get confirmation if someone were to get their karma is when I'll book a tarot reading, right? Or I'll watch like, you know, those pick a card of tarot readings, and I'll usually type in like, will this person get their karma? Pick a card of tarot reading, or I'll type in on YouTube like, is karma real, or have people ever gotten their karma? But the only confirmation I actually get is when I'll book a personal tarot reading from a tarot reader I trust, if these family members or the people who's done me wrong will get their karma. And they'll usually confirm yes. Like they'll tell me like karma is a real thing, and these people will get their karma, and they'll explain it in detail on what they're about to experience, you know what I'm saying? And whenever I listen to it, it's very healing, and it makes me less worried, or put me in less distressed, right? And I'm able to sleep better at night. But how I look at it is this: I'm not saying karma is a real thing because of a tarot or because of a YouTube video, or I'm not saying it's true or not. But what I'm saying is this: it just sucks how like in life, like when people do you wrong, and I understand it's part of life, but I'm just saying that if you're constantly being done wrong over and over again, and it just seems like these people are getting away with it, it's one of the worst feelings in the world, you know what I'm saying? and it's just bullshit. It kind of sucks how like sometimes God or the universe or life, they don't allow you to see these people get their karma. You know what I'm saying? So it sucks. It's not a good feeling. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why like life will block you from seeing people get their karma. But yet, when I book a tarot reading, or when I fund efforts to type in and research if people are going to get their karma or if karma is a real thing, and once I finally get the answers I need, then that's when I feel at ease. Like, why can't life or the universe or God allow me to see these people who done me wrong to get their karma? But what I've learned is that, like, unfortunately, life doesn't work like that. Life is weird. All of that makes sense. So it's like people do me wrong, they'll get away with it. I'll be in so much distress over and over again. But in order for me to find out if these people get their karma is if I book a tarot reading or if I watch a certain YouTube video for confirmation. But why do I gotta do that? Why can't life just show me in itself? So it's just, I don't know. So it gets complicated. It's annoying, but I don't know, man. So if karma is a real thing or not, um, I don't know, man. Like, if let's say karma is a real thing, right? And if the universe is blocking me from seeing people get their karma, right? So it's like I'm being done wrong, and I'm not even doing anything wrong. So life just kind of expects me just to move forward, just to stay focused, and to pick myself back up, despite being done wrong. And that's how you develop faith within the universe or God or whatever you believe in, right? Or in life in general, right? That's when you develop stronger faith, and that's when you're able to have more trust within yourself to be there for yourself, to develop a stronger bond for yourself, but more so to develop trust with life or the universe or God. You know what I'm saying? Me, I consider myself as kind of religious and shit. So I believe there's a God. I believe there's a universe. I believe in everything. So I won't be surprised if the universe doesn't exist or if God isn't real. But also won't be shocked if God is real and shit like that. But I tend to put my belief and focus on a higher power, not because I think it's real or not, but more so, it helps comfort my mind, and I feel like it's healthy to put energy and love into a thing to where it's gonna help you have faith to move forward with life. Some people operate it differently, but what works for me is that like I'll pretend like God is real or the universe is real, right? So I put my faith onto them, right? Even though they may not exist, or maybe there's something in life that exists that I can't comprehend. So, but I'll put my faith into them because I'll pretend there's a God or there's a universe, right? And so I can feel more at ease whenever I'm navigating through life, because life is full of a lot of evil people and this world's so fucking evil in my opinion. So this is why I tend to focus on a higher power, right? So anyways, um I'm off topic, but let's say the higher power is blocking me from seeing people get their karma, and let's say that's the case, right? It's so hard to do that because it's like, man, these people done me wrong. Now I'm focused to just continue with life, and I feel so unsafe. I feel like people could get away with so much shit, and sometimes it's shocking. It's just disturbing. Like, there are times I really have sleepless nights where, like, knowing that like people do me wrong and they'll get away with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just bullshit. It sucks, man. It's not easy. Like, I've experienced this a lot, and just the fact that I've experienced this a lot, but I still struggle with it. I still struggle with like moving on. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to like anything, when it comes to like money being stolen or like breakups or like the family members lying to me, fighting me and shit like that, a lot of crazy shit, man. I don't want to get too detail. I've already explained my other videos, but I don't know, man. But let's say karma is not a real thing, but then it just shows how shitty this human experience is, in my opinion. Knowing that like people could do you wrong and they could get away with it, but this is my opinion. But but it's so hard to like it's so hard not to stay bitter, because when you constantly be done wrong by people, it's like you just kind of want to turn into an asshole, and you kind of just want to be defensive and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? There are times where like I've experienced that. You know what I'm saying? This is why I even made a YouTube channel, just so I could like release all that pent up anger and aggression and shit. You know, this is why you gotta transmute your anger and your pain and trauma to the right things to become great. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to project that shit towards the wrong things, because it's not fair on your part. Where like if you're being done wrong, or like you feel hurts and traumatized, and then you project that shit towards the wrong things, it's gonna make your life a lot worse because you might put yourself in a worse situation, and that's not fair for you. So transmute that, like try to go to therapy, try to like meditate, try to do yoga, try to like transmute that anger to like working out or through creating a business or a creative project, right? Or throw that shit to your work. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I view it. Yeah, but just know that you're not alone. Like if you're experiencing people being who are doing you wrong, and you see me can't move on from it, just know that you're not alone, and just know that people like me and other people we also experience this as well, and we do struggle with this at times. But it's always important to know that you're not alone and to like transmute that trauma and anger towards the right things in life, not towards the wrong things. You know what I'm saying? So because anger and sadness and distress these are powerful emotions, and if you transmit it towards the right things to your life to help you become great so you can get the things you want out of life, it's very powerful and it'll give you extra boost of energy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but it's crazy, man. But that's all I gotta say. Be careful out there. There are people who are very manipulative, and I'm not saying be paranoid, but just be careful with your finances, please. Finances is a gateway for us to navigate through life. So I just don't want you guys to be tricked or swayed by people. You know what I'm saying? I've experienced this a lot, so like just don't be tricked by people. You know what I'm saying? Just be careful. People are. I'm not saying everyone's like this. It's my own opinions, my own experiences. But what I'm saying is that sometimes people aren't who they seem they are. So you gotta be careful with that. Always listen to your intuition. Always follow your gut instinct. You know what I'm saying? Don't be paranoid of people, but just be careful. Especially when it comes to finances, be careful. You worked hard to earn your finances. Don't waste it. You know what I'm saying? Save it, invest. Try to look into credit, build good credit. And you know what I'm saying? It's your money. You earned it, so you're not obligated to give your money towards anyone. You're not. You know, don't care what people say or what they're trying to convince you. Friends, family members, who? No, that's bullshit. It's your money. You're not obligated to give to anyone because you put in the energy. You sacrificed for it. You earned it. So it's your money. You're not obligated to give your money out to people. But that's all I gotta say. And like, comment, subscribe, and please comment down below if you had any similar experiences where like people like where like people want to like where comment down below your experiences. People borrowed money from you and they never paid you back, or have you ever got scammed by money, or your experience with karma? Like, have you ever experienced people get their karma, or have you ever been done wrong and you never really see them get their karma? So come down to anything, but good luck to you and stay safe and have fun. Peace.